So holley emissions carb here, 1850 here, I'm converting it. Like I'm basically switching out metering block and everything that makes a reverse idle holley a reverse idle. So I did another video, I'll do it again quick, but there's a part one to this, there were a better explanation. You see the light coming through the idle adjustment passage here? There's a straight line hole that goes into the venturi on both sides, okay? And then that feeds into here, and you see your idle screw in there? So that feeds this one right here. Okay, and it meters the air, and then over here is your fuel enriched transfer slot circuit, so it also ties into that. I restricted my air idle bleeds on this to get it to idle good, but then it was pig rich on the transfer slot, and I was thinking if I was to correct this, I would come right here. I would put a restrictor in right here on this idle passage here. You know what I'm saying? You could tap this, you could put a restrictor in there. There's not a lot of meat. You could probably get you'd have to drill it out for the shoulders and start running air idle bleeds in it. Would be another way to go. So tap it for that and put it in there. And I think that's probably the way to go, but I don't know. Like and then so here's another thing too. Show you the differences in the casting. Look at all the porosity on this one. Okay, now we'll go over to our 1850. This is a much better casting. Really nice casting, right? And then again, look at our porosity here. And we'll go over to our metering block. So this is, again, look at the porosity on this casting. Okay, and this is our reverse idle metering block. And then over here, a much better casting. So right off the hop, the 1850 is a much better carburetor. I'm probably not coming back to this, but if you have this problem and you found relief getting your lean idle corrected on these carbs, I may have a fuel restriction in the metering block too. But if you know, there's your passage there. If I was to put a restrictor and I was to thread tap and I was to put work into this hump of a carburetor, that's probably where I'd do it. And then, you know, if you restrict that down, maybe you can get within range where your screws start to actually have some adjustment and you're okay. Again, not a huge fan of these, so